Hello, and welcome to the Connecting Point. I am Dr. Marcy, your facilitator for this discussion table today. This is the place where creators connect to inspire, share their ideas and story, to change the world through raw, unedited talk. Today, what a day it is. I have two wonderful, amazing disciples here. The disciples, John and James. I'm going to actually let them tell more about who they are in a moment, but I must always begin with the connecting point. Well, where would I begin? I don't know how far I should go back. John, raise your hand. Now, John, we go way back to college years.
Yes.
It's my musical brother. Yes, it is. Yes. So, y'all already know what that is. Dear old Mars Brown.
Alma mater, pride of earth.
Yes, pride of the earth. And then James, raise your little hand up there. James Green. Matter of fact, that's John Shoats. I'm sorry, I didn't say his last name at the top. But then James Green, I met him through a connection. Isn't that something? This is the connecting point, right?
Yes, it is.
Right.
I met him through a connection, which just happened to be my brother John introduced me to James. And these brothers are some powerful brothers. I want them to tell a little more about who they are and what they do. Either one of you can go ahead with it.
Yeah. Well, we'll go with the original connecting point, and then we'll segue to the newest connecting point. Dr. Marcy. I told James I was going to say, Dr. Marcy. But my name is John Shoats, as Dr. Marcy already said. I am from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And in 1988, the spring, went on a college tour, Black college tour, culminated in Atlanta, visited Morehouse, Clark, and stopped the last stop at Morris Brown College.
Yes.
Where the choral director was Dr. Glenn Halsey. And 5 of my other students, we were all there, seniors, and we just came to visit and to hear the choir and the concert choir. And Dr. Halsey asked us to audition right there on the spot. And all 5 of us auditioned. We all got 5 scholarships were bestowed on us. 3 of us out of the 5 made it down. 4 of us out of the 5. 2 of us out of the 5 graduated from Morris Brown. 3 of us out of the 5 pledged Phi Mu Alpha fraternity at Morris Brown College Kappa Beta chapter, and our beloved sister organization. They were called the Symphonette Society when they started with me, and now they're local Ladies of Performing Arts, I believe. And I'm a short guy. I'm about 5'5".
Here we go. James, you know where he's going, don't you?
I know where he's going.
During my processing, or in that time, we call it pledging time, during my pledge period, it was 8 brothers on the line with me, and I was numero uno, one.
Number 1.
And the mouthpiece, and glad to have represented my line. And of course, I have any affinity to anybody else who's a 1. But Marcy and I knew each other in the choir. We traveled. We were both in the college choir. We in the travel choir. And that big old pretty smile that's always been there it's just solid. It's just a trademark of hers. And her parents were like parents for me. I think they're like the parents of the choir. Like,
yeah, with that. They miss that too, John.
Good God. But just this friendship relationship built, just genuine, always can talk, always can connect, always could confide. And we did a stronger reconnection about 2 months ago, because I just saw what Dr. Marcy was doing with the connecting point. And I said, how can I support her? How can we spotlight her? And that's what's happening. So I worked in ministry full-time for about 12 years. I worked in corporate for another 10 or something years. I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. I'm still in the music production area. I've done that. and I just started tied in. And now, my beautiful friend James Green, we met in a connection point at the Chamber of Commerce and in Georgia, Conyers, Georgia, and same just like you, Dr. Market, relationship. And we got
Yeah.
to talking and found out we had some very, very similar paths. And the first thing I said, man, I gotta work with you, man. I gotta work with you because what you're doing, I don't do what I do. I think you don't do, and I think we can really make an impact out here. And so I'm gonna swing it over to James Green, and then we'll go from there.
And James, by the way, is a dear heart. I picked up on that when I first talked to him. He's a dear heart. But anyway, go ahead, James.
Well, Dr. Marcy, my testimony is not the musical testimony because you don't want me to sing. So you just want me to talk. You don't want me to sing. But I started in the field.
But that voice is so nice, though. That talking voice is so
thank
nice.
you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll cash app you in a minute. But I started in the field of broadcasting when I was 17 years old, and also went on to Stillman College, another HBCU.
Hey.
All right. Yeah. Happened to play as Kappa Alpha fraternity, was a one. So I'm
you
with
were one too, James?
Yes, I was.
Oh my God, we're all ones.
Yeah, all ones on the line. And majored in the broadcast communications and went to work with several radio stations. And after a while, God really pressed on my heart, says, I want you to do this full time and I want you to do it for me. So then went and started the company, Kingdom Business Communications Network, KBCN. And that's how I connected with John. At that connecting point, we connected at the chamber. And once we connected, it's almost like we've been friends forever. And that was like 4 years ago. So we knew that was a God divine connected point that him and I should be together.
Wow, amazing.
And it's been amazing all the way, even in our low times. I mean, it would have looked like a low time on the outside. We kind of giggled, laughed through all of it, cried, talked, prayed, ate together. Anyway, we were together. And that's kind of just how we've been flowing. And it's been been an awesome time of divine intervention and connection. Yep.
Wow. And I'm glad you're talking about that because that's where I was headed. Of course, like I've already said, this is the connecting point. And this is no better example this is the best example, let's say that I could even come up with. The connection between us and how God just put all the nuggets together. And that is what we are to do as disciples of Christ. We are to find out who that is we can connect with. Mm-hmm. And you will know by the fruit people bear. I just posted that the other day. I think it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
To watch the fruit before you connect.
Right.
Now, I knew John, but I didn't know James.
That's right.
But I had sense enough to know that if my brother is a good brother, and he is, and he connected with another brother, that brother got to be a good brother too. And it panned out that you are. And so let's talk a little bit about that. How important is it to collaborate with others? And I know, John, you got some words for that, and James. How important is it to collaborate with those people who can help catapult you to the next level in your ministry or whatever you're doing, your calling area, your purpose?
I think you can't get around it.
Right.
You just can't get around it. Stacy Shoats, my wife, she says this all along. She says this: alone we struggle, together we do better. Right?
Yes.
But James and I build our relationship based off one of them, Ecclesiastes 4, 9 through 12, when he talks about if one walk alone, two will do better. It's better than a three-braided cord. Basically, we would have paraphrased that if one fall, the other one is there. And what we have done, we really relish and champion each other's gift. Like, I mean, we talk 3-4 times out the day, and I'm like, man, that was bad what you did, man. Man, that was some strong work you did. And he'll turn around and say, oh my gosh, man, we just got off a call earlier today, and he's like, man, you pulled that one out. I mean, and it's those types of calls going back and forth. But what we learned, Marcy, more than anything was, I'll say, James, well, what about, have you thought about this? And this is my perspective. James to say, well, dog team, this is my perspective and this is his perspective. Then at the end of the time, I'll ask James, man, what's God saying about it? And that's where we end up every time, especially if we on each end of the spectrum, and we love that. But at the end of the day, we still say, and I'll say, James, I mean, this is kind of what I'm hearing, what you hearing.
Right.
And James will tell you that. James, you want to go on about how we kind of end up on that plane every time. And that is not nothing we practice. That's not nothing we put in best practices. That's not nothing that we say, if we come to a decision we don't know, then we're going to end here. Right. It's what I value him outside of his gifting. And I think true connections and collaboration goes deeper than the skill or the gift.
Yes. And I've experienced that with you guys, to be honest with you. Our first face-to-face meeting that we had, it was almost like you couldn't deny it. You could not deny the connection. The first phone call when you called me, I said, I don't even got to pray about this one. I already know. This is a divine connection.
Yes.
And some things listen, I pray about this. Listen, some things you just know.
Right.
And our parents used to say that. Our parents used to say that all the time. I didn't know then, but when my mom used to say, I know him, I know her.
Right.
Right, James?
Exactly. And then Dr. Marcy, also, in you making that connection and you coming to that connection point, you have to walk with each other. Yes. Meaning that you have to learn each other. You have to learn what each other's strengths are, what our weaknesses are, and really be transparent with one another. When really it gets tough, really gets hard, says, hey, I sometimes I say, John, well, how you doing? He said, man, I ain't doing so hot. And I'm like, what you mean you ain't doing so hot? He was like, man, either I'm going through with my family or something ain't right at church, or it's just being real with one another to where we can make that connection point to where we can even get over hurdles, personal hurdles that we have with one another. And then even when he brought you in, as soon as he brought you in and we did the interview, I just felt your spirit so much. I was like, bet I'm in. Yeah. And he was like, can we have Dr. Marcy? I'm looking for Dr. Marcy to be on our network. I was like, well, let's go. Let's do it. Because yes. I felt that connection. I felt that connection point there. And with that, it's just knowing each other's strength and not being afraid to, I guess, to
talk about it, communicate.
Not just afraid to just let yourself go and to be yourself and to really be real with one another, and not be afraid to be yourself with one another, to where it's to the point to where I'm not jealous of John because of what he does, because what he does it good. And John is not jealous of me of what I do because he does it well as well. So it's like, hey, we know that we can collaborate together. And I can say, hey, John, I need your help on this. And he's like, okay, I got you. And then he said, well, I need your help on this. I said, I got you too. So, and that's how we flow.
And then Dr. Marcy, James will tell you, we have been in a major deal, get ready to close it. And the particular prospect client or whatever it was, just said something. It changed my whole countenance in my spirit. And I said, oh, would y'all mind if we just take a break for a second? They said, oh yeah, no problem. I said, James, I said, I gotta make a call, but I need to ask you something. So James came out. I said, hey man, I said, I'm gonna need you to finish the meeting. I don't want to mess this up because I'm going to kill the deal if I keep going. I need you to close it. You don't do that if you don't have a relationship that I can be honest and say, yo, Doc, I'm not in a good place. And if I keep going in this meeting, I told him, I don't like the way she came. I don't like the way it is. But I think the deal is good. But we're not going to close it today if I stay in here or if I continue taking the lead. Well, that's the genuineness of
that's awesome.
The genuineness of no judgment. Love abandoned.
Right.
See, when you love abandoned, you're putting your heart out there that it could be hurt, rejected.
Right.
It's a vulnerability that you have to have when you're dealing with people. You know, I just had a meeting with a friend of mine yesterday evening, and we were talking about the same thing, being authentic.
Yeah.
And I mentioned something to him, and this is political, but I mentioned something that I paid attention to during the presidential debates. And one of them was when I think it was Donald Trump had said something to Biden regarding his son being on drugs. And the one thing that Biden did to cut all of that off was said, yeah, he was. And he was real.
Yeah.
And that stopped the enemy in the track that it was, you know, he was trying to go in, because he was being authentic and real. Yeah, he was. He went through this struggle. Now, boom, we're moving on. So I think
oh my God, Dr.
by
Marcy.
us being real.
Yes.
Stay right there, Dr. Marcy.
Yes.
It's easier for us, the three of us, to be more consistent when we can be when we show up as our authentic self. See, I'm always going to show up and be the same because I've never been fake.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't have to watch what I'm saying. I don't have to see if I'll make sure I don't step the wrong way, because I'm showing up as John Shoats. I'm loud. I can be abrasive. I can be fun. I can be laughter. I can be docile. I can be forceful. I can be all those things are different, but those things are who I am. And those, you know, automatically, yo, even if somebody can't stand me, they still use me because I show up.
You show up.
We show up.
That's it.
Right. We show up. And so I now lean into that instead of always trying to. So I'm trying to get better to when to know how my volume when, and I'm more conscious of how I am showing up, because since I do show up, I need to be responsible on how I am landing with you, Dr. Marcy, how I am landing with James.
Right.
But the point is, I'm going to be there. Now I'm learning how to land, but don't have no doubt that I'm not going to be there. So the skill I'm learning now, I'm leveling up my skill on landing a little bit softer when I need to, land hard when I need to, but that balance. But the point is, the flight is in air, and I got to come down. And so I think that's what we get from you.
Right.
You know, when we did our boot camp this weekend, we'll talk about that. And
oh wow, amazing!
Host boot camp this weekend, and you were like, "Hey, I got to run to do things with my daughter. Is that a problem?" No, because I'm family. Right. And I'm going to already sow into you, but we recorded it for our family members. But what we did know is you were going to show up. See, that's
you know I'm coming. If I say I'm coming up.
So James says this all the time. James, tell him about the client we had the other day, was asking us a question, and he said it's something different about you.
And Dr. Marcy, what the client says, I trust you all, and I don't know why I trust you all. And I just clearly told him, I said, you trust us because we show up. And he was like, yeah, you do. I said, that's why you trust us, because we always show up. And if we can't show up, we're going to let you know, okay, something came up and we couldn't show up. But that's part of the connecting point that we even have with our clients, that we want to make with our clients, to let them know, hey, you know the stigma, brothers got a media company.
CP time. I don't operate on CP time.
Come on, man. but we want to make the connection point with them to let them know, hey, we show up. We really do show up, and we show up on time.
And since we're talking about that, let's talk. Let's go a little deeper.
Yeah.
With just being there and being consistent with whatever you're doing. I know a lot of people wonder how people get to the level they're on, whatever industry they're in. And it mainly boils down to integrity and being consistent.
That's right. That's right.
I will never forget, there was a time I started a job at another school that was totally different from where I had ever been in my teaching career. The culture was totally different. And I my first program there, I'm used to having these big programs with the whole school on them. And I will never forget walking into the auditorium the day of a program that I had scheduled to be at 8:30. I'm walking in the door at 8:15 to make sure the chairs are right. You know, I'm walking in the gym to make sure everything's straight. And there's parents in there. And I overheard my administrator of a different hue say to a parent, you know, there's probably gonna be CP time. Now it took all that I had. The Holy Spirit said, don't you say a word. It's a better way to deal with this. I did not say a word. It wasn't even 8:30, by the way. So when it was time for the program to start, it was 8:29. I got up, the room was packed. I said, I thank you all for showing up on time. The show was slated to start at 8:30. It is now 8:29. Let's go. Her face. So that stigma that we in African-American community carry around is CP time. That's really non-existent. It's how, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing on time.
Right. And you know, that's a mindset. That's a mindset that you say, well, I'm going to do everything in excellence. And with doing everything in excellence, that means I'm going to do it on time. I'm going to do it on time. I'm going to start on time. I'm going to finish on time. And I'm going to do what I do in excellence.
And if I can't, like you said earlier, James, I'm going to let you know. If something comes up, I'm going to call you. I'm going to do something to let you know I'm en route, or, you know, to acknowledge that I should have been there at a certain time. So guys, let's talk about consistency.
Well, Dr. Marcy, I've just been asked to co-author with 19 other authors, which will be coming out probably next 45 days. And it's talking about collaboration. My particular chapter I'm writing is called The Law of Collaboration, right? And I just wrote this down today because the Holy Spirit gave it to me while James and I were in the meeting. And it has your words. And what we wanted to establish. All right. The reason why I even wanted you on our network, Dr. Marcy, is because I've been watching you every Tuesday show up. Show up. And I know what being in media and producing shows, we know what that grind is on the backside.
Lord.
Present and show up every week after week after week. They don't understand that you got to secure the guests, secure the time, secure the recording, secure all that has to happen in order to show up. And week after week after week after week, you have been consistent. And so I think there are three things that we all need to have, and when we're collaborating, and will make people comfortable to collaborate. And these are the three words. We have to have continuity, connection, consistency.
Right.
Then let's talk about it a little deeper. Explain those, Mr. John and James.
If we have continuity, if we're relevant, if we're on brand, if we are intentional and deliberate about getting our message laser focused clear, or as my coach would say, ridiculously clear, meaning that we know our why,
Right.
then the continuity will bring comfort where people will then begin to know, like, and trust our brand, Dr. Marcy, period. Your ministry, your business, your consultation, your school, wherever you are, if you have continuity, then people will understand and start beginning to know, like, and your brand, trust your brand. Next, you have to have consistency. And the consistency of showing up and being present when people begin to count on you begins to make a natural and what they call an organic or a groundswell or a ground or roots connection. Right? So you're able to bring guests on each week, not just because you know a lot of people. It's because during your path, you made a connection. Right. And it doesn't matter if they came back for recommendation as a student, they seen you at your church, they seen you in your professional development, wherever you can, you have been consistent and you brought continuity. You got a place of substance that you're able to connect. So if you don't have continuity, you won't have any consistency. And if you have consistency, you won't connect. Now, God just gave that to me because I didn't have to break that down because he just gave it to me earlier. Ooh. But I'm glad this is being video because I'm going to have to use this.
Yes, and I am too.
Right. But listen, and you can use and put your name to it. I'm not that guy because how I show up will bring the people that I begin to coach. And see, my coaching is not about the money. My coaching is to make sure that I impact, inspire, and influence.
Do y'all see some words that kind of intertwine in here? So I want to stop and point that out because it's authentic. It's an authentic connection. And John and James, it just organically happened, like you just said, to where it's connecting, together, the inspiration, the collaboration, all of this is the same thing that we're talking, but delivering it in different ways.
Period. And that's the beauty of even like what my wife and I and I'm trying to learn and even do more. It's about celebrating the differences, right? Not attacking them,
not attacking,
but celebrate. That's collaboration.
Yeah.
The celebration of that. And James, Dr. Marcy. Well, and I don't know if your audience knows, but look, Dr. Marcy is our newest member of the KBCN family.
Yeah.
I guess they wonder what we're talking about. We've been talking about.
Listen, her show will be airing. She'll still be doing Connecting Point on Tuesdays, but she'll also have an hour before our show on Wednesdays. James and I host a show called The Industry, and we want to open up an avenue, a segue for your creators, Dr. Marcy, that when they leave their show, that not only will you be on a platform, but your guests now have a platform to be able to expose. James, talk about that, your vision of that when we were talking.
Well, actually, Dr. Marcy, with the vision of KBCN, we want to change the culture by controlling the narrative. How do we control our narrative? We control it through media. And since we control it through media, then that is the way that we can tell our stories. That is the way that we can actually show how creative we are without being bottlenecked by mainstream media, and really be our own media and be the media who God called us to be. So that's why we say we change the culture by controlling the narrative. And if everybody want to go to kbcntv.com, that is the platform in which we change the culture and control the narrative.
And I am so honored. I've been keeping this because I wanted you all to be the ones to let the cat out of the bag.
Oh, Dr. Marcy, you could have done it.
It's been hard to keep because I have been excited ever since YouTube made that phone call that day, and I was in my car.
But Dr. Marcy, you could have done that because of the simple fact it's not our platform.
I know, but I just,
It's not our platform, it's God's platform.
You're right. But I wanted everything to be in sync.
And what he told us to do is to bring you on. Mm-hmm. So it was okay for you to say, hey, I'm on the KBCN TV platform. Because he the one told us to bring you on.
And but audience, hey, I'm on the KBC.
Hey, I'm on Dr. Marcy in the Connecting Point. And just to let you know, we're going to be growing Dr. Marcy's brand. Right now, you know her from the Connecting Point, and then she'll be doing Dr. Marcy Consultation. And we're going to help grow her brand. This is her platform. We believe that she's bringing value to us. We thank you for the added value. We want to bring added value to your platform and your creators. All your creators. You are the nucleus. You're the nucleus that God is using to help unleash this where we're going. We reach global. We're global. We're global. Right. And so we have an opportunity to now introduce to the world our newest friend and partner, Dr. Marcy, along with the Connecting Point family and creators, which we're happy to be proud members of.
Yes, yay!
And contributors. And we are looking forward to connecting with those creators. And Dr. Marcy will ultimately end up being one of our big talent people to help us choose the right talent to put on our network, because we value her and her. She not only in it in schooling, but her spirit helps rightly divide it in the word and then brings that balance. So we are excited about her contribution. We are excited to be able to undergird her and her artistic creative ways. She has so much more to do, just like us. And we are now excited that we could talk about it.
Yeah.
Right? We are full-blown partners out here, that we get to level people up.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good, John. Leveling people up.
Listen, they can get because they're part of the Connecting Point, they can get coaching services at a lower rate because you're connected. But I'm here to coach up those who want to be in the space. Be in the space. Listen, we are here to help support and level up wherever you are. Now you got a platform. And Dr. Marcy, I thank God that you are a willing vessel, but more importantly, you're so humble. And that's why it happens, because you have given so much. Now God's just saying, and guess what? You reap where you didn't sow.
Right.
Oh, God.
The word says sow.
Mm-hmm.
It's not where you sow. Mm-hmm. It's what you sow.
What you sow. My God. Say that again.
It's not where you sow, it's what you sow. And so the harvest, James tells me all the time, the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. And so now we trying to gear up, level up the laborers so they could be skilled laborers to handle the blessing that's coming, because it's coming.
Yes. Yeah.
And James said something, and I keep it in the back of my head. I want you to say it, James.
Okay.
When we had our first meeting, you talked about the Garden of Eden. Remember you talked about that in the tree?
Yes,
okay. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because I want the audience to hear how eloquently you put it, and it was in simple terms. Anybody would get it when he finished telling you.
Well, just like God gave Adam a garden, and God put Adam in the garden, and he told Adam, he says, of all the trees in the garden, you can eat from. Any tree in the garden you can eat from, except for one. Okay? And those trees represents the gifts that God has placed inside of you. Maybe with, like you, Dr. Marcy, with the gift of music, with the gift of speaking, with the gift of doing a radio show, with the gift. I mean, you got all of these things that God has placed before you. And what he's saying you can eat freely from any tree. But what happens is we get to one tree and we try to eat that one tree. We try to eat the bark off that one tree and never go to the other trees to eat off those trees. Because God also understands that within a season, that one tree might blossom when the other tree is not going to blossom. Okay? But then he says, okay, you can eat from the tree of life. What is the tree of life? The tree of life is actually your purpose, your calling.
Yes.
The tree of life is actually him.
Come on, James.
Okay, once you eat from him, because then he can show you things, he can teach you things. But see, if you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, that means that you're getting your information from somewhere else.
That's why he said don't eat from it.
Are you getting your information from this world system that is corrupt? And it said that, it said that life is the best teacher. The experience of life is the best teacher. That's the biggest lie they ever told. The best teacher is the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
So which one would you rather do? Would you rather go under the teachings of the Holy Spirit, or would you go under the teachings of the tree of good, the knowledge of good and evil?
Well, I tell you one thing, the Holy Spirit is who connected us.
Hey, come on.
That's right. That's right.
James,
that's right.
James, let me ask you this. Because you're stirring up. Me, you and Dr. Marcy, we get to going. We forget we don't care. One of my mentors, Kevin Bond, Maestro Kevin Bond, he just put what you just said, Dr. Marcy. You brought it up right on this day. He says, develop every area and aspect of your gift. Here's the principle. You'll never eat from the treetops when you've only prepared to reach the low-hanging fruit.
Yep. Lord, wait a minute. Say that again, John.
Okay. Develop. This is Kevin Bond. This is his quote. Develop every area and aspect of your gift. Because we're talking to creators. So I'm talking to us. Develop every area and aspect of your gift.
That's right.
Here's the principle, the kingdom principle. You'll never eat from the treetops when you've only prepared to reach the low-hanging fruit.
Meaning that there's more fruit. There's more fruit on the tree that you will never eat from, get to. Because you just want to. You
didn't prepare. You just grabbed fruit.
And this, I had a conversation with another friend last week about preparing. God has given us this. It's almost now. We're going into 2 years or more of a pandemic where the world shut down.
Right.
To give us ample time to prepare. And during this time, if anybody on here has been like me, God was downloading. Downloading. And it was up to us.
Okay, go ahead. Come on.
Whether we took that download and began to cultivate. And so if you miss that moment, shame on you. That's all I can say. I mean, how you gonna miss that?
Dr. Marcy, here's the miss you moment. I know God's speaking to you. And let me tell you why. When the pandemic happened, James, I told James that God told me that this pandemic was going to be between 18 months and 22 months, a 2-year period.
2 years.
And I called it the Joseph connection. Now, this is before I even see you know. I called it the Joseph period. All right, so you remember when Potiphar, his wife, accused him of the adultery. He got thrown in prison. About how long was he in prison?
It's about 2 years.
Okay, so he was in prison. But while he was down in prison, he took the 2 years, the 18 months, the 22 months time to perfect, to learn the new skill. Because when he came up at the 22nd month, he became what ruler? Second in charge, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yep.
So this is what you just said, Dr. Marcy. God showed me in this pandemic, this COVID pivot, as I was calling it, or COVID blessing, I was calling it. More has happened in these 15 to 16 months in my life now than I ever worked for in my whole life.
my.
And we will propel. We've been propelling, setting up, because God told me clearly, if you don't take this chance, what you just mentioned, in this window of preparation, because he slowed it down, anything you ever dream, that's why I call it the Joseph.
Dream big. You spent dreaming big during this
time. That's why I called it the Joseph connection. Everything that you ever dreamed of could happen, but you couldn't because you had to work too much to do this. And he slowed it, then stopped it, so that you can make an adjustment while you're getting unemployment, whatever way. He was taking care of you so you can make it with no excuse that when the pandemic started opening back up, when things started opening, because now we ramp it back up. As it ramps back up, you are already there. And what the country, what the world needs was being developed and ready for distribution at the end of the pandemic. What I am saying is, if you missed it, he told me it was going to be a 10-year wait.
Woo!
Because that's going to finish out the next generation.
Decade. Yeah.
Yes.
And if you did miss it, your 10 years are going to be mind blowing.
If you didn't miss it, and I mean if you didn't miss it, there is going to be an acceleration. God does not
jump out this chair.
Listen, we find out very quickly, God does not add. God is a multiplier. And we are noticing that when we partner with women, okay, God brings your wife who has a single seed and multiplies the seed. The women are the multipliers on earth. They're the tangible demonstration of the multiplication. And if
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that?
Listen, and if you're not partnering with a woman, this is why it's the year of the woman, and specifically Black women, but women in general. But if you are not partnering with a woman, not just married, business partner, we're business partner, or companion, or mentor, your vision will not be multiplied. It won't. If you have an all-male staff, it won't multiply. It'll do well, but it won't multiply.
In other words, they stagnant.
They're stagnant. And so the collaboration with the man and the woman, that's why he said it's not good for man to be alone. It had to be a collaboration to populate the earth. It had to be a collaboration to make the move to them. It has to be a collaboration in order for the things to go. You only can run as far as you can in your singleness. That's why he said when you get married, the bigger purpose comes to light. That's why he says, husband, you attain favor when you get married, because the favor is the multiplication.
Oh, come on.
A single man can't get that unless he has a companion, maybe like that doesn't have to be a lover. I'm not talking about, it could be your mother, it could be a sister, but it's going to be a woman. You didn't hear me, Dr. Marcy.
I heard you, because I'm sitting here thinking, okay, the man has the vision, but who's going to birth it?
And a woman is an incubator.
Yes, incubator.
Because once you give her something, she will make it multiply.
Right.
If
duplication.
If there's ingredients in the house.
Say that again. If
there's ingredients in the house.
Ingredients. I'm glad you said that.
You can give her ingredients, and she can give you a meal.
I'm glad you said that. There must be ingredients in the house. Now, every woman not gonna do it. Now, that woman got to be connected to God. I'm just telling you to know which direction to go in, because when you have someone's vision and you're carrying it, you're supposed to protect it. So you can't be one of them women just flying out, doing all kind of stuff with somebody's vision.
Right.
And incubators protect, don't they? They protect.
Yep. They protect, they nurture.
They nurture.
Right. So that's what the connecting point is, a creator's safe haven incubator till you're ready, and we will help you birth. That's what it
is.
And we have a platform to birth it. We don't need to get permission. We are the decision makers.
Right. Exactly.
We're the decision makers.
Exactly.
Y'all, I tell you this right here. So
that's the richness of collaboration
and making the right connecting point.
Right. And there are some kingdom principles. Know the fruit by the fruit they bear. Try the spirit by the spirit. Walk with them through all 4 seasons. I mean, it's not just no happenstance. There's a framework. There is a principle. There is a way, the truth, the life. It's only one way.
Yeah.
Right? To go there. And so if we yield ourselves to kingdom principles, right? Just that alone would garner success. If we're willing to sow into others, then, my family, we begin to live on this. I have because I give. I give because I have. Therefore, I will always be blessed.
Woo! Never seen the righteous forsaken nor seed begging for bread.
How can you beg for it? when we yield ourselves to the good Father, y'all were talking about the collaboration. That's why God said in the scriptures, husbands, you're the church. Wives, you're the church. Husband, you like me, God. And we're supposed to love you like that because the church is the multiplier. It does the work.
Listen at this.
So it's first of all, why are we successful? Everybody who's successful out here are using kingdom principle. They ain't saying it's kingdom principle.
Right.
But they are.
These big companies do the law of collaboration. They either doing some philanthropic.
They are.
I use my last example, Dr. Marcy, as we close up. We have 10 fingers, 10 digits, all different things, 2 hands. God can give you 100% each hand, and you have it. And you can do what you do, and you can love it, and then you let it go again. God, you release it, God pour back into it again. But if you collaborate, Dr. Marcy, this may be 10% that a stream may come your way. And this finger may be 2%. And this finger may be 10%. And this finger may be 50%. But right here, this one finger already over 100%. Now you had 100. You let go and you got another 100. But if you're willing to share and collaborate, that's why he said you'll have streams, not lakes.
Streams of income. Yeah. That's right.
He said streams. He didn't say lakes, ponds, rivers, or oceans. He said streams, because streams are moving water. Streams are also what? Living waters. Because if you're out in the wild where you get fresh water off the rapids, it's the stream. You can drink the water. You can't drink it out the ocean because it's salt. Can't drink it out the lake and pond because it's stagnant. It is only the streams that give us life. And if you're willing to let the stream go, you'll never be in need. You'll never have lack.
We lack no good thing.
Just like the book of Acts. So we talking about principles. That's why KBCN is in the FET.
Right.
We ain't trying to be just a media company. We're change agents.
Right.
We're trying to give a voice. We want to give voice to the voiceless.
After our boot camp this weekend, I came home. I said, listen, y'all, I told my children, I said, I feel so refreshed. I told you that. Did I say refreshed? Did I say refreshed, James? I felt so refreshed. I knew I was in the right place. The information was, I said, John could have charged about $500-$600 for that he just gave us.
You can really help us? No, you can really help us because hosting the boot camp you're hosting your own classroom.
Yeah.
You're a host in your family.
Right.
We're a host all the time. I'm just giving a strategy based on that. But the principles is what we're talking about. Right? So we're going to be connecting with you this coming weekend. I don't know when this airs, but if not, we had a great time at the thing. But also season 2, what Dr. Marcy going to have her show, The Connecting Point, will be beginning September the 7th. And she should be on that. September the 8th will be her first show airing on KBCN TV. Hey, if you want to reach out to us about us coaching and our boot camps and how to lead and how to move and work in the sphere of collaboration, you can reach us at kbcntv.com or kbcnmedia.com. We'll love to work with you, team up with you, coach you up. I mean, it's our IG is KBCN Media. I mean, we got it all. But that's not we here to celebrate you, Dr. Marcy. We're glad to be part of your platform. We are here we got a concert series coming that we want to invite creators to sign up for. Every Wednesday in September, I think it's set for September 8th. September and Wednesdays in October, we're calling it the KBCN Artist Connection Point.
Connecting Point. Yes. I will be there with bells on.
And Dr. Marcy don't know, but she's going to be hosting.
Oh, you already told me. I know.
already know.
I already know.
James,
but listen, I am so happy.
I was saying, where else could they meet us? I know I forgot something.
What?
No, you was right on time. You didn't forget it.
Well, I did it right. Thank you. Good coach.
Yeah, you did it right.
You forget?
James been working on me. He's been working.
Been working. He got much on that dome of his. He got so much.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, you guys, I mean, my hats off to you. I don't even wear hats, but I'm hatting off to y'all.
You shouldn't, because your hair be fly.
But I'm so very proud of you. I really am. I am honored to be a part of the work that you're doing, because I know it is about to go far, far, far around this world. But I do want to mention, we are getting ready to have a great connection party. We are going to have a Creators Connect party on August the 28th. And I want any creator that wants to connect with these two men and many other creators, come out to Douglas County Cultural Arts Center with your mask on. If you want to go outside, you can go outside. You will be free to move around, enjoy live entertainment, eat some food, but most importantly, make some connections with some good people. So that is offered to you, the audience. Come on to the Connecting Point party with us. And you did tell how they can reach you, right? Say again.
Yeah, I told you how to reach us. Yes. And we will be there. I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of people. I'm looking forward to connecting, signing up, and you know, getting you onto the platform, the KBCN TV. We're looking forward to it. Showing you how you can support Dr. Marcy in the Connecting Point. Sure. It's because of her that you'll be able to connect with us. And come on out, celebrate every Wednesday. It's a free event. Our event is free. The concert is free. So
tell them where, John.
So we're going to have it at the something pavilion. The Jeff something pavilion. Where is it? It's
in Latonia, right?
No, it's in Old Town Conyers.
It's
down in the city of Conyers at the pavilion, starting September 1st, Wednesday, 2021, 6:00 p.m. to 9 p.m. That hour from 6 to 7 is we call it a happy hour. Be food trucks, food vendors, couple of vendors out there. They may do some goods and services. If you want VIP tables, let us know. We'll have that. Looking for people who want to sponsor, who want to be a sponsor of the concert series. And this, you can reach us at kbcnmedia.com or go to info. James, what's the email they can email us?
They can email us at info@kbcnmedia.com, or they can call us at 888-705-0036.
All right, audience. And like I say every week, if you would like to be on this platform to share some ideas with us and stories to inspire others, to make a connection with the other creators that are listening, you may reach me at integrativearts@att.net. I have two websites now. One is integrativeartscreations.com. You can go there. You can reach me at drmarcysconnections.com. You can go to Twitter, Arts Integrate, Facebook.
Yep.
Marcy Thurman Simmons, Dr. Marcy. I have two of those. Dr. Marcy's Connections is one. We have Instagram. You have no excuse. You can find us.
All right. And you can reach us on Instagram. Please like, click, and share this. Like, click, and share the Connecting Point. Visit us on Instagram, KBCN Media. We'll be glad to have you. Follow us, like us, share with us, and we'll share back with you. We'll follow you, and we'll connect with you. Once again, it has been our pleasure, Dr. Marcy.
Oh, I thank you. And you know what? I forgot to invite creators to the Connecting Point group. If you want to collaborate and just be in a group of people who can inspire you throughout the week and, you know, join the Connecting Point for Creators group. It's a private group on Facebook. And what we do there is celebrate each other, celebrate accomplishments, get some inspiration to go on throughout our week with enthusiasm. So look that up as well. Thank you again, John and James.
Our pleasure.
I love you. I appreciate you. Make sure you do what John said. Click, like, and share. We're on Instagram, TV, and YouTube. Okay? Blessings, guys. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.